it's Melissa and we're in the study, and we're going through the first phase of the design process for a beautiful Spanish garden that I'm creating. I'm using a lot of sources of inspiration, but I absolutely love this book that I really refuse to give back to the library. I think I've renewed it about 3 or 4 times now. Obviously, the food and the art and the history and culture of southern Spain is the inspiration for this garden, so that's been really lovely. Now we've got a very wonky plot, which is why I absolutely love my Moja tool, because it is very accurate even when you have got a wonky plot like this. So I've used that to create my base drawing so that we can do things accurately. First things first, I like to delve into my hoarding collection of beautiful objects which are basically just sort of going through the textures that I need, using this porcelain that actually does come from Spain. That is our sort of main texture and pattern to work around, and then what I like to do is just put together a little flat lay, because it's nice to obviously create a mood board for the client, but if it's something tactile, they can, when they come over, if they do come over to the study, or if I take the samples over to them, they can play around, they can change the colours, and we can work something out in terms of the palette and textures. I really love this stone because the striations are just, well, perfect tones. They really mimic that the different patterns in this porcelain tile. There is some sort of Arabic and arabesque patterns in this one. Then I just quickly knock up a mood board, to be honest, and include the planting decisions that I think I want to make. So there's just something to present to the client so they've got an idea of what they will be able to see and touch and smell in the garden throughout the seasons. And then it's a case of actually just creating a concept. So this isn't a plan. I will show you the boring parts, the planting and construction and lighting schemes, once the garden is properly finished. It's about 3/4 there at the moment. I don't want to do a big reveal just yet. But, you know, it's just a sort of idea for sort of plotting out so that the client's got an idea of what I think would work for the space. And at this stage, they would be able to say, I'm not really sure about that. Let's move this around. Let's do this. Let's do that. But, you know, we've got some practical considerations because there's an overground hot tub on the top left, which I thought would be best snuggled into the corner of the big retaining wall, where it will capture all the scent of the beautiful climbing roses and jasmine. And you've got the sound echoing of the water feature as well. And then I just quickly do a perspective using just a photo. This is a fairly easy process for me. I just used the photo. You can see at the beginning there was the washing line and all the bits and bobs, the detritus of family life in the way, but it means that we can just work in a few sort of patches of colour, and I can sort of get an idea of where I'm going to cut into the flooring to between the joists, in order to put some planting in. Now we have a deck because there is a huge level change, and we would have basically added on another £10,000 to the project if we were messing around with levels. So it made sense to actually just go with a light coloured decking for this garden, although that's not really Spanish. AI. Right, I'm not going to talk about it too much just now, but it is useful for lighting. I absolutely hate what it did with my layout. Look at those silly plants. But it gives you an idea. I did a lighting render of my own just to plot out where I was going to put lights overhead or in the inset into the deck. They both have pros and cons, but in the end, as you will see, I went with an inset, and I think that gives a beautiful silhouette for the planting and some lovely shadows. So then the client gets this, they get a little concept, and we start the build. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and share and chat and everything. I'll see you soon.